Good afternoon. This meeting of the City University of New York's Board of Trustees is called to order. I now move that this meeting convene an executive session pursuant to Article 7, Section 105, C, D, and F of the Public Officers Law to discuss matters pertaining to personnel, investigations, and litigation. May I have a second? Second. All right, we are in executive session. We will convene in public session after this. Can we shut everything off?
Yep.
I do have to move that. All right, let me move to reconvene the public meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, we are back in public session. Everyone should take a moment to mute their cell phones. CUNY TV is transmitting the public sessions of this meeting live on the CUNY Board of Trustees website at www.cuny.edu/livestream. It is my pleasure to welcome and introduce our newest trustee, Rosanna Rosado.
Yay!
And there's some nice things here. We're thrilled to have you. Trustee Rosado, who currently serves as the Commissioner of the New York State Division of Criminal Justice, has had a distinguished career in public service. She was the former Secretary of State and publishing, former editor of El Diario, and is a proud alum of John Jay College, where she received her master's degree in criminal justice. I know on behalf of all my colleagues, it is a pleasure to welcome you. You will bring a ton to this board, but she is a good friend, and we have known each other for decades. And we were working to try and get a lunch on the schedule before, but now I get to see her even earlier than that. Rosanna is...
Still have to pay for lunch.
Ouch. Ouch. But we are lucky.
There you have Rosanna.
We are lucky to have her on this board, and I look
Yes, we
forward
are.
to years of working with you. On June 23rd, 2025, the Board of Trustees convened the Bronx Borough public hearing regarding university-wide issues, as well as the items on the calendar agenda for today's meeting. 32 people registered to testify and 20 people presented testimony in person. 13 people submitted written testimony in person and 4 people submitted testimony electronically. Many students spoke about the positive and nurturing experiences they had attending CUNY and highlighted experiences at Hostos Community College and Bronx Community College. Students spoke about finding mentors who believed in them and supported them during challenging times. Students noted several academic programs and organizations that inspired them, including ASAP, the Male Empowerment Network, the Student Leadership Academy, the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society, and Student Government Association. One student spoke about his experience returning to college and highlighted the crucial role his mentors played as he continued his education at CUNY and in encouraging him to apply for a scholarship to Columbia University, where he will attend this fall. Many students noted CUNY made them feel welcome, supported, and empowered. Speakers also noted the role CUNY programs and organizations had in supporting students beyond the classroom. Students noted the Early Childhood Center at Hostos allowed parents to return to the classroom while nurturing their children's academic, emotional, and social development. One speaker testified how the Hostos food pantry supported her through difficult times as she waited for family support from overseas. Other speakers testified to the importance of continuing funding for mental health services, and a speaker on behalf of the CUNY Coalition for Students with Disabilities advocated for the necessity of increased funding for assistive technology. Speakers also voiced concerns regarding recent federal actions and encouraged CUNY to join a New York State Mutual Academic Defense Compact to protect against federal attacks on academic freedom, university funding, and free speech. One speaker pointed to the pact formed by several universities in the Big Ten Conference to protect member universities against threats from the federal government as a model for the proposed New York State Mutual Academic Defense Compact. Finally, speakers called on the university to disclose information about the investments and urged the university to divest from certain investments. They also urged the administration to drop charges against students and faculty who engaged in protest. As always, the testimony has been shared with the board and the chancellery, as well as posted to the trustees' website. Since our last meeting, trustees have been very busy, especially with one of their favorite activities. If you look at the slideshow, commencements. Additionally, on May 21st, Trustee Myra Linares Garcia spoke at the 2025 Salk Scholarship Awards ceremony. On June 4th, Vice Chair Senator Wilkin, Trustee Lorraine Cortez Vasquez, and Trustee Michael Arvanites joined the welcome reception for the Sorensen Center for International Peace and Justice at Roosevelt House. On June 5th, Trustee Redden delivered closing remarks at the 2025 Trustees have also dedicated a great deal of time to several ongoing searches, including the searches for the Executive Vice Chancellor and University Provost, the Senior Vice Chancellor for Human Resources, and the Vice Chancellor for University Advancement. We look forward to hearing more about these searches soon. Let me thank all of my colleagues, all of you, for your efforts. On behalf of CUNY, we are paid a lot to be able to do this. Our salaries should be doubled for what we're doing there. Remarks today, I'd like to invite several speakers from the Prison to College Pathways program to join us at the table. Please welcome Harold Capers, a junior majoring in Human Services and Community Justice at John Jay College, and Wilson Laboriel, a sophomore majoring in English at John Jay College. Thank you both for being here.
Chairperson, may I?
And one last thing before you do, let me thank them both for being here. These individuals recently made a presentation at the Student Affairs Committee meeting, and the committee was so impressed with their stories that a request was made to have them come and present to the full board. Now let me go to Vice Chancellor Maybank.
Thank you. Problems can become opportunities when the right people come together. That's a quote from Robert Redford. Founded in 2011, the Prison to College Pathways program is a partnership between John Jay College of Criminal Justice and the Borough of Manhattan Community College at Oatsville Correctional Facility, which is a medium security men's prison in upstate New York. The program is administered by the John Jay College Institute for Justice and Opportunity. It offers a BMCC Associate in Arts, Liberal Arts degree with pathways to several of our baccalaureate degrees. The Prison to College Pathways program allows incarcerated students to pursue higher education before release and lays the groundwork for a successful transition into their communities and continued involvement in higher ed. We are privileged to be joined today by Denise Martinez, the director of this unique program. Denise, would you stand? Present to you the two students who have been named from the Prison to College Pathways program who are studying at John Jay College of Criminal Justice. First, we will hear from Wilson Laboriel, a sophomore, as you heard, majoring in English, and then from Harold Capers, a junior majoring in Human Services and Community Justice. We can't tell it, so we're going to let them tell it, and they won't be able to tell it all in the time we have. But Wilson?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Maybank. How are you? Thank you, CUNY Board of Trustees, for having us here. First, I'd like to say that my name is Wilson Laboriel. I just re-entered society 4.5 months ago after doing 12 years and 4 months. At the end of the 12 years and 4 months, I was actually wrapping up my 5th semester in John Jay, the Prison College Pathway program. And I'd like to tell you guys about how much this program has helped me. As a writer, as a critical thinker, the professors that they brought over to the college program, from Professor Chandani Tariq, Professor Barrett, who's here with us, Professor Monahan, they all brought something different to us. We didn't even know that we had the skills that we had. They brought it out of us. Of course, I've been impacted by the criminal justice system. The 2013 stop and frisk craze got me indicted. I got sentenced to a substantial amount of time. Thankfully, it was modified. I'm still fighting it now. But that's exactly why I joined John Jay. Because in the interim, I was studying law. And I ended up becoming a paralegal, but something still wasn't hitting right for me. My writing, you know, the rhetoric. I wanted to refine my skills. And when I came to John Jay, it actually got way better than before. So the people that I was helping as a law clerk started getting actual more wins than I had losses. And the professors and the classmates, you know, they all had something to do with that. You know, upon returning to society, the people who are students, we network. And we all hang tight, we text each other, and we keep each other out of the way, you know, in the city. So I'd like to say that John Jay has done a lot for me, and I cannot wait to start my semester again in August, in the fall, for the fall semester of 2025. And I'd like to thank you guys once again for having me here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Harold Capers. I want to thank everyone for this wonderful opportunity. I'm a 61-year-old. Last year when I came to this committee, I was 60. I'm 61 years old now, and I'm a late learning undergraduate John Jay student. My journey began while serving a 25-year life prison sentence for committing an armed robbery of which I'm deeply remorseful for. I spent all of my time in prison focusing on resocialization while at the same time accepting full responsibility for my actions. I did this through participating and facilitating various therapeutic workshops to help myself and others. These workshops, like anger management, alternative to violence, and Exodus reentry workshops, are designed to meet the needs of participants and assist with transitioning back into society. I put together a 1,500-page portfolio that includes most of my accomplishments from behind bars, which I'm trying to get experience credit through the e-portfolio program once a professor is hired. While being housed at Otisville Correctional Facility, during orientation, I was told by the facilitator that the John Jay College program was here in the facility. So I signed up for an orientation lecture, and after the lecture, I applied, took the written exam, and was accepted. When I received confirmation I was accepted by John Jay College, I was excited. On the first day of class, I started learning unfamiliar terms such as social construction of reality, the socially dead, and social behaviors. I also learned to become a better writer by following the professor's guidance. The most fundamental course I enrolled in was Sociology 101. In this course, we used a book written by sociologist David M. Newman titled Sociology, Exploring the Horticulture of Everyday Life. This book has been a foundation for me to succeed in all college courses because the author wrote about how people shape their experiences through social interactions. We are constantly re-socializing ourselves as human beings. I accumulated 48 college credits and made John J. Dean's List spring 2022 and fall 2023. When I was released from prison, When I was released from prison in March 21st, 2024, I went to John Jay College Institute for Justice and Opportunity, which administers the PC2 program. But I could not enroll in classes yet because it was the middle of the semester. So I waited to re-enroll in the fall semester. I remember the P2CP professor speaking about Roberto Clemente Bard College course in Harlem in the evenings. So I enrolled, completed that course, and received 6 credits that was transferred over to John Jay, which is where I'm currently a full-time undergraduate student, with an expected graduation date of spring 2026. While being a student, I've been proud of my accomplishments. I won the John Jay Mental Health Scholarship in December of 2024. I won the John Jaron Moeller Social Innovation Fellowship March 2025. I received a stipend as a student participating in the Transfer Advantage series at John Jay College. In February 2025, I made a video that was published in the John Jay Sentinel on May 21st, 2025. One of my writings was published in a book called Inside Knowledge by New York University Press in 2024. I won a $5,000 fellowship award from the American Prison Writing Archives on June 2025. I've also spoken on numerous panels about being impacted by the criminal justice system. I want to close my speech by saying that according to the Correctional Educational Association and other statistical reputable sources, 63% of people in prisons are illiterate. Less than 5% of incarcerated people who go to college return to prison, while 67% formerly incarcerated people who do not attend college return to prison. I say that to say this: college should be mandated in all prisons because it's the only proven, it's only been the only thing proven to be effective for rehabilitation. More funds need to be allocated to education, to educate those who are incarcerated, and even more funds should be dedicated for communities and society that fall below the poverty line. Thank you. If you have any questions, feel free to.
Thank you.
So I have an ending quote to offer. Life is a gift, and it offers us the privilege, opportunity, and responsibility to give something back by becoming more. Harold and Wilson are exemplars of the program and of the experience that has been given to them through this program in particular. And consistent with the motto of BMCC, you can start here and go anywhere. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, let me thank both of you for coming here and telling us your story. It's incredibly compelling. You are two very brave gentlemen. We really appreciate it. And Denise, thank you so much. Thank you for asking us to make the time, because it also lets us understand, again, why we're here. So thank you both so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me go to the Chancellor's report. Chancellor.
Thank you. Let me just add that, William and Harold, it will be the honor of my life when you complete your degrees to sign those diplomas.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So thank you, Chair Thompson, and hello to board members, vice chancellors, presidents, and deans. I want to echo Chair Thompson's welcome to CUNY alum and our new trustee, Commissioner Rosana Rosado. Delighted to have her in the board. I had the pleasure of meeting her when I began my career at the Center for Puerto Rican Studies. I had to go convince her to donate the records from El Diario, which is the oldest Spanish newspaper here in New York, to the collection, and she said yes to the dress, and a great friendship emerged out of that, and it's an honor to have you. And I'll add to what the chair said, that you also have someone who's been in our faculty as a distinguished lecturer at John Jay, and a former member of the John Jay Foundation Board. So thank you for your service and for your future service to the board. The chair alluded to commencement season, and commencement season wrapped up on June 20th, capping more than 4 weeks worth of celebrations to honor our 50,000 graduates from more than 2,800 academic programs across the City University of New York. Earlier this month, we honor our college's valedictorians and salutatorians with a reception at Ostos Community College. We had Trustee Radin joining us there too, and we heard from Ostos valedictorian Esme Duran, a parent and entrepreneur who graduated with Phi Beta Kappa honors and recently opened a family daycare in the Bronx. I could go on with many stories about these very talented and bright students. Their diversity, excellence, and resilience reflect the very essence of the City University of New York. To all of you who attended commencements and delivered remarks on behalf of this board and CUNY, we are grateful for your enthusiasm and participation. I also had the honor of attending 6 commencements this year. At 3 of them, I confer university honorary degrees to 4 civic and philanthropic leaders who have who supported and shaped both CUNY and New York City. Jeffrey and Sherry Aronson, Ronaine Menschel, and Anthony Meyer. But not all of our graduates are college students. At the Borough of Manhattan Community College Early Childhood Center preschool graduation, I brought CUNY branded teddy bears to toddlers and preschoolers who are preparing to move up to the next classroom and to start kindergarten. Their parents are among the estimated 5,000 student parents who graduated across CUNY this spring. We celebrated their willingness to work hard and succeed as they juggle so many responsibilities, and I promise free tuition to all those kindergartens whenever they show up to CUNY 15 or 16 years from now. And continuing with centennial celebrations this Wednesday on July 2nd, it would have been Medgar Evers' 100th birthday, and we congratulate Medgar Evers College for continuing to live out his legacy of courage, justice, and equality. Moving on to news from around the university, our summer session is currently underway. I am delighted to report that about 68,000 students sign up for summer classes, an increase of 6% from this time last year. We also launched the Research Bridge Fund, which will provide funding to faculty whose research has been disrupted by some of the federal stop work orders. This new initiative would apply to 72 active research grants that were terminated, with each grant recipient eligible to receive up to $60,000. We remain committed to supporting our talented faculty and sustaining their important research work. Shirley Chisholm, who I mentioned earlier, is getting the first major exhibition on her life and legacy on the occasion of the 100th anniversary of her birth at the Museum of the City of New York in collaboration with the Shirley Chisholm Project at Brooklyn College. Tomorrow, the museum will be hosting special free hours for CUNY students, staff, faculty, and alumni. I look forward to being part of those visitors tomorrow, and the exhibit runs through July 20th, so I encourage all of you here to check it out. I'm also very pleased to announce that the School of Medicine has completed its transition to a fully independent institution. The CUNY Med is focused on meeting the needs of underserved communities by increasing diversity within the medical profession, and this shift would enable them to offer more programs and reach even more aspiring physicians. Congratulations to Dean Carmen Green, who I think is in the audience here today, and everyone on CUNY Med and City College on reaching this incredible milestone. So congrats. Now let me do a round of some shout-outs. Congratulations to this year's 8 Salk Scholars who come from City College, Hunter College, the College of Staten Island, and the Macaulay Honors College. This annual award is granted to those accepted to medical schools or graduate programs in the biomedical sciences. We're always breaking new ground at CUNY, but we're taking it literally at Brooklyn College. Earlier this month, as part of New York State's Decarbonation Leadership Program, a 1,500-foot deep test borehole was drilled to assess the potential for using geothermal energy. And don't ask me what that, the mechanics of that, please.
Water from a rock.
Also, the Asian American and the Asian Research Institute 24th Annual Gala honor the remarkable achievements of Asian American women in public service. Congratulations to all the evening honorees, including Assembly Member Grace Lee and Council Member Linda Lee, who received the Leadership Awards. I was also honored to receive the National Association of Colleges and Employers Career Services Champion Award for our work at CUNY in support of career services and education. This is an honor that I share with CUNY's many dedicated career service professionals who work so hard to equip our students with the tools they need to succeed after they graduate. I'm wishing everyone a happy Pride Month. It was wonderful to have CUNY represented at both Harlem Pride and the New York City Pride over the weekend, as well as many other events throughout the month. I would also want to take a moment to acknowledge the loss of two individuals who had a lasting impact on our university. Congressman Charles Rangel worked to expand access and opportunity for all New Yorkers, and we will not forget the work he did to elevate public higher education and CUNY as an institution. His vision endures through the Charles B. Rangel Infrastructure Workforce Initiative at City College. Additionally, I want to acknowledge the passing of Lieutenant Lauder, who's a profound loss for both Hunter College and CUNY. During his lifetime, Mr. Lauder, who was married to the late Hunter alumni Evelyn Hosner Lauder, generously gave $61.5 million to the college. In 2022, he endowed the Evelyn Lauder Community Care Nurse Practitioner Program, which was inspired by the exceptional nursing care his wife received. Today, we say goodbye to Senior Vice Chancellor and the Secretary of the Board of Trustees, Gail Horwitz, who is moving on to become Chief Executive Officer at JASA. Gail's hard work over 9 years at CUNY helped this board to function efficiently and effectively, and JASA is looking to gain someone with her expertise and dedication, and we wish Gail the very best on the new role. Please also join me in congratulating New York City Tech President Ross Hosler on his upcoming retirement and thanking him for his enduring service at CUNY. I know we have a thank you resolution for him at the end of the meeting, but I want to acknowledge 22 years as the president of New York City Tech and 51 years in service at the City University of New York. I also want to thank our ongoing CUNY School of Law Dean, Sudha Sethi, for her commitment, her committed service to CUNY and its law students, and wish her well in her new role leading the Law School Admissions Council. I also want to congratulate distinguished Professor Kathy Davison on her retirement. Kathy founded the Futures Initiative, which recently celebrated its 10th anniversary, and in the last 3 years served as my special advisor on transformation. Thank you, Kathy, for the many meaningful contributions you made to the university and to higher education across the country. I leave you with a potent reminder of the value of the work that we do, provided by third-generation Brooklyn College graduate Carrie Eben. Carrie was her class valedictorian this year, and we can all appreciate the perspective she expressed in this brief video.
In my speech, I wrote about, let me just say it. I always like to tell people that I was born because of Brooklyn College. I was born because of Brooklyn College. I know it sounds dramatic, but hear me out. I grew up hearing stories of my parents who were alumni of Brooklyn College and my grandparents who are alumni as well. They always wanted to be involved like they were and really make a difference on their community like they did. I got involved in student government almost immediately after stepping foot on campus. One of the greatest parts of student government was really watching the community come back to life. CUNY has really shaped the person that I am today. The person that I was when I started 4 years ago is totally different than the person I am now. Being valedictorian has proved how much I'm capable of. Everyone on campus has to go through hard things. Everyone has to deal with personal hardships, but we have the power to do so much. And it's important that we take that power and we really hone it.
Thank you, Carrie, and that wraps my report. Have a great summer, and I look forward to meeting again and continuing the important work on behalf of CUNY incredible students.
Hope she's pleasant to have a joke. And by the way, I have to agree, I'm here because of Brooklyn College. My parents met at Brooklyn College.
So you and Carrie are.
Yes.
Now let's turn to items requiring a vote today. Item 1, the minutes of the regular board meeting, executive session of May 19th, 2025. I'd like to move item number 1. May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the minutes? All right, let's now move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved. I'm going to change the order a little bit, but item number 3 is the Committee on Finance and Administration. Let me call on Committee on Finance and Administration Chair Henry Berger to present and move the following items. Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, the Board Committee on Finance and Administration considered the following matters at its meeting on June 9, 2025, which I will now present to the Board. Item 3A is a resolution to authorize the fiscal year 2026 university operating and capital budget allocations, the fiscal year 2026 state enacted budget, and fiscal year 2026 New York City executive budget, appropriated operating funds for the senior colleges, community colleges, system administration, and shared services operations, and academic programs, as well as capital funding to address critical maintenance and facility expansion and improvement. The university is seeking the Board of Trustees' approval to adopt the operating and capital budget allocation for fiscal year 2026. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3A for the Board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved. And one of the things, since the city budget just was approved, 2 things. Number one, and obviously we'll be getting a full update on what it means for CUNY, but at the same point, while we were grateful at the conclusion of the state budget to the governor and the state legislature, we are also grateful to the mayor and the members of the city council for the budget and the additions that they have made for CUNY. CUNY is made very whole, and we're very grateful for the support that they have given us. So, as I said, obviously, the details will be forthcoming, but we're very grateful to the mayor and the members of the city council for the work that they've done and for the money that they put in the budget for the City University of New York.
Mr. Chair, I must add, challenges remain.
Always.
Item 3B is a resolution to authorize a waiver of application fees for seniors graduating from New York City and New York State high schools. The university requests the Board of Trustees' approval to waive application fees for students applying to the university during CUNY month for the fall 2026 semester. The fee waiver will be available to New York City public school students from October 27, 2025 to November 21, 2025, and to non-New York City public school students in New York State from November 10, 2025 to November 21, 2025. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3B for the Board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item? Second. Any discussion? We'll move to a vote. All of those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item is approved.
Item 3C is a resolution to authorize the CUNY School of Medicine to charge an academic excellence fee for the Doctor of Medical Education program. The CUNY Medical School is seeking the Board of Trustees' approval to charge a $1,000 per semester academic excellence fee. The fee will be used to provide faculty and staff salary support, to recruit the highest quality personnel, and maintain the levels required by accreditation. It will also fund state-of-the-art simulation-based learning curriculum, additional support for licensure exam preparation, and specialized software and database subscriptions. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3C for the Board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? All of those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? Thank you. That item's approved.
Item 3D is a resolution to approve the waiver of tuition and fees for students enrolled at City College as part of the Inter-University Engineering Doctoral Consortium. On May 18, 2023, City College entered into the Inter-University Engineering Doctoral Consortium with the engineering schools of New York University, New York Institute of Technology, Rutgers University, Columbia University, Cornell University, Princeton University, and the Stevens Institute of Technology. The consortium agreement allows doctoral students at each of the institutions within the consortium to take classes at another consortium institution as a complement to their program and course studies at their home institution. The agreement requires students to pay tuition and fees at their home college, and the host institution will waive all tuition and fees other than material fees. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3D for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 3E is a resolution to authorize the purchase of nursing program test preparation solution, NCLEX, for the College of Staten Island. The college conducted a competitive request for proposal solicitations to select a qualified vendor to provide an NCLEX preparation solution, and one responsive proposal was received. The university seeks to award this contract for a 3-year term with an additional 2 one-year renewal options for a term of up to 5 years and an amount not to exceed a total of $972,000. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3E for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? Move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 3F is a resolution to authorize a contract with Compass USA, Inc. for vending machine operations across the university campuses and central office locations. The university issued a competitive solicitation in March 2025. 3 responsive proposals were received, and Compass USA, Inc. has been selected as responsive and responsible bidder with the highest combined score. The contract represents no cost to the university and is expected to generate approximately $2.2 million annually in revenue through commissions over gross sales of the vending machines. The university seeks to enter into a contract with Compass USA Services, Inc. to provide the installation, stocking, maintenance, and servicing of the vending machines for a period of 5 years with an option to renew for an additional 5 years. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3F for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All those in favor? Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 3G is a resolution to authorize a contract with Ex Libris for the Alma Library Services platform. The University Office of Library Services has subscribed to Alma Library Services platform provided through Ex Libris since 2020. Ex Libris is the only provider of the Alma platform, providing updates and administration that ensures the management of CUNY library materials, which have allowed CUNY libraries to effectively manage the circulation of over 6 million physical items and facilitate seamless access to 17 million electronic items for all CUNY students, faculty, and staff. The current contract with Ex Libris for Alma expires on August 2nd, 2025, and the university seeks to renew this contract for another 5-year period until August 2030 for an amount not to exceed $2,702,000. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3G for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, we'll move to a vote. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 3H is the resolution to authorize an enterprise license agreement for Accommodate by Simplicity for reasonable accommodations. The university needs a unified system for managing student requests for reasonable accommodation that allows campuses to easily share accommodation plans for students who take classes through e-permit or transfer, thereby reducing redundancy, streamlining the process, and enhancing the overall student experience. A request for quotes was issued against the OGS contract number PM 69807 for a new 3-year term, and Simplicity was selected as the vendor to provide the services required. The university is seeking approval to make expenditures with Simplicity for a period of 3 years and an amount not to exceed $1,449,300. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3H for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 3I is a resolution to authorize a contract extension with Ellucian to ensure ongoing access to the FAFSA solution during the transition to the new FAFSA solution. The university previously contracted with Ellucian, which was previously Campus Logic, for the university's federal student aid verification solution. And the expiration date of the university's contract with Ellucian is November 30th of this year. In November 2024, the university issued a request for proposals to select a new provider for the solution and selected ProEd as the new vendor, which the Board of Trustees approved a contract with ProEd for 5 years and amount not to exceed $4 million at its April 15th meeting. To ensure continuity of services during the transition to the new vendor, ProEd, and allowing for proper implementation, the university is seeking a 14-month extension with existing vendor Ellucian from December 2025 to January 2027 for an amount not to exceed $2,122,528. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3I for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? Move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 3J is a resolution to authorize contract with the Common Application, Inc. The university issued a competitive solicitation for an alternative application platform to increase visibility and accessibility to a broader applicant pool, and the Common Application, Inc. resulted in a responsive and responsible bidder that meets the university needs. The university seeks to enter into a contract with Common Application, Inc. for an initial 3-year term with the option to renew for an additional 2 1-year terms for a total of 5 years for an amount not to exceed $3,673,500. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3J for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
In the spot of discussion, just one thing. This was one of the earlier items, the Common App, that I remember bringing up, and a number of us bringing up a while ago. And the fact that we are moving forward, I'm not going to talk about the time, but thank you, Chancellor. It is great that we are moving forward with the Common App. So, well done, very well done. Any other discussion on the item? All right, let's now move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item is approved, gratefully. Okay.
Item 3K is a resolution to authorize
Oh,
the
I
contract between the City University of New York and Parchment and Instructure Company. The University of New York requires an external service to generate CUNY transcripts and diplomas and to allow for seamless and secure electronic exchange of academic records for all prospective, current, and former CUNY students, campuses, and potential employers. The university has successfully used Parchment for more than 20 years, and the current contract expires in July of this year. The university is seeking to enter into a new contract for a period of 5 years, from July 2025 to July 2030, at an amount not to exceed $4.5 million. The new Parchment contract anticipates revenues from transcript fees of $7 million over the 5-year period, resulting in a net revenue to the university of approximately $2.5 million. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3K for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? We'll now move to a vote. All of those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item is approved.
Moving right along. Item 3L is a resolution to authorize Dreamland Security Services to provide unarmed security guard services at the Borough of Manhattan Community College. The MCC requires a security guard service at 199 Chambers Street, Fitterman Hall, and 70 Murray Street to ensure its campus buildings and grounds are properly secured. The college issued a competitive mini bid utilizing the New York State Office of General Services contract route number 71011, award 23106, to procure the required services, and Dreamland Security Services was the responsive and responsible bidder, offering the lowest bid price in response to the solicitation. The university is seeking approval to make expenditures with Dreamland Security Services, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $4,425,000 for a period of 5 years. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3L for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? Let's now move to a vote. All of those in favor? Opposed or abstentions? That item is approved.
Item 3A is a resolution to authorize contracts for medical school clinical clerkship course delivery with St. Barnabas Health System and Northwell Health. The CUNY School of Medicine is now fully accredited by the LCME and must continue to meet LCME standards to maintain that accreditation. As a non-hospital-based medical school, it must contract with external clinical affiliates to meet the LCME requirements for inpatient and outpatient experiences, supervision, and continuity of instruction. The CUNY School of Medicine has determined through market analysis and outreach that St. Barnabas Health System and Northwell Health are uniquely capable and available to provide these services. The CUNY School of Medicine is seeking to enter into contracts with St. Barnabas Health System and Northwell Health for a period of 7 years at an amount not to exceed $10,606,707. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3M for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? We'll now move to a vote. All of those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 3N is a resolution to approve a memorandum of understanding between the City University of New York and the CUNY Institute for State and Local Government for 2026 to 2030. Since 2018, the CUNY Institute for State and Local Government, ISLG, has been the university's strategic support partner, supporting the university's efforts to implement strategic and ongoing administrative and academic opportunities to enhance the major functional areas across the university with the goal of improved effectiveness and efficiencies. Under the new MLU, the ISLG will continue to identify and implement priority initiatives in partnership with the university administration and academic staff to bring best practices to the administrative functions that support the academic mission, making every effort to be lean and resourceful in all areas of operation and administration. The projects to be undertaken will include assisting the university to build a sustainable multi-year plan for funding and operations of the university, guided by the CUNY strategic plan, which minimizes the disruptions from policy, budget, and economic changes outside of the university. The university is proposing to enter an MOU with ISLG for a 4-year period effective July 1, 2025, at a total cost not to exceed $7.1 million. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3N for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? And the only thing I would like to say was just to compliment them on the work that they do and the interaction that we've had with ISLG. And very grateful for the work that they've provided, the assistance they provided to us, as well as the work that they will do in the future. So it's a pleasure to be able to move this forward. Any comments, any other comments on this? All right, let's now move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 3O is a resolution to approve the Personnel Matters Report of the Finance and Administration Committee. The June 2025 Personnel Matters Report is generated from employee data entered into the university system of record between March 24, 2025 and April 28, 2025, not including appointments that have been submitted as individual resolutions. The report contains 15 ECP actions, including 7 regular appointments, 1 interim appointment, 3 resignations, 2 reclassifications, and 2 salary changes. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3O for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Items 3P through 3Z are resolutions to appoint regular and interim members of the Executive Compensation Plan. If anybody wishes to discuss any one of these individually, we can pull it out. Otherwise, we will do them as a group, Mr. Chairman. Item P at Baruch College is Scott Evenbach, an extension as university professor. Item Q at Baruch College is Jennifer Mangels, interim dean of the Weissman School of Arts and Sciences. Item R at Brooklyn College is Yasmin Ali as interim vice president for student affairs. Item S at the City College of New York is Kevin Foster as interim dean of the Colin Powell School for Civic and Global Leadership. Item T at the City College of New York is Stephen O'Brien as interim dean of the Division of Sciences. Item U at LaGuardia Community College is Ahmad Nassar as interim dean of institutional effectiveness. Item V at Bronx Community College is Octavio Gomez, an extension as interim vice president of administration. Item W at Hunter College is Gustavo Ordonez, an extension as interim vice president for administration. Item X at the CUNY Graduate Center is Phyllis Schultz as associate provost and dean of financial aid. Item Y at Medgar Evers College is Shirley Irick as executive legal counsel. And item Z at Medgar Evers College is Earl G. Simon, vice president for philanthropy and external relations. Mr. Chairman, I present item 3P to item 3Z for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for these items?
Second.
Excellent. Any discussion? Now move to a vote. All of those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item is approved.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report.
God. No, but one thing, and just for our new colleague, the lack of discussion during the meeting is, this has all been done in committee already. And they have worked through it and gone through votes on the committees. So when we come together, and particularly also after the public hearing on these items, we have the benefit of all the work that our committees have done prior to this. So that is why there's not a huge discussion on these items. They've already been vetted, reviewed, and approved and voted on in committee. So just wanted to make that clear. It's not that everything is always this smooth. In committee, it's resolved. We'll now address item number 6, the Committee on Facilities Planning and Management. Let me call on the vice chair of that committee as well as the vice chair of our board, Sandra Wilkin, to present and move the following items.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, the board committees on facilities planning and management considered the following matters at the meeting on June 9th, 2025, which I will now present to the board. Item 6A is a resolution to enter into a construction license and easement agreement between the City University of New York and the Battery Park City Authority, providing for the construction of a flood barrier system at the Borough of Manhattan Community College, 199 Chambers Street, New York, New York. To mitigate flood damage resulting from storm surges, the Battery Park City Authority, in connection with the Lower Manhattan Coastal Resiliency Project, will implement construction of the BPCA flood barrier system. Construction of the flood barrier system for BMCC is anticipated to start in the spring of 2026 and will take approximately 1 year to complete. Mr. Chairman, I present item 6A for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? Move to a vote. All of those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 6B is a resolution to authorize entering a new lease for the premises at 3030 47th Avenue, Long Island City, New York, with Factory Leasor LLC for the Public Safety Group's Training Academy. The new lease for a total of 24,150 square feet is for a 12-and-a-half-year term at approximately $11.7 million for the total term of the lease. The new lease will commence no later than December 31st, 2025, with an expiration of 12-and-a-half years from the date of lease commencement. Mr. Chairman, I present item 6B for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? Any discussion? All right, let's move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item is approved.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report.
Thank you, trustee. Committee, item number 4, Committee on Education Policy. Let me call on Committee on Education Policy Chair Jill O'Donnell-Tormey to present and move the following items.
Mr. Chairman, the Board Committee on Education Policy considered the following matters at its meeting on June 9th, 2025, which I will now present to the board. Item 4A1 is a resolution to establish an advanced certificate program in health information management at the CUNY School of Professional Studies. Building on its current infrastructure and as a companion to the Master of Science degree in Health Information Management, CUNY SBS proposes a 12-credit online advanced certificate in this field. The proposed program is financially sustainable and is designed for maximum scalability. Mr. Chairman, I present item 4A1 for the board's consideration.
We have a second for this item.
Second.
Any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 4A2 is a resolution to establish a certificate program in applications of artificial intelligence and machine learning at York College. The proposed program allows participants to gain the necessary skills to be able to excel within the contemporary disciplines of artificial intelligence, machine learning, privacy, and ethics, artificial intelligence in business, and cybersecurity. The proposed program is financially sustainable as it makes use of existing campus resources. Future costs will be minimal and related only to future expansion based upon enrollment demand over time. Mr. Chairman, I present item 4A2 for the board's consideration.
We have a second for this item.
Second.
Any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions?
Aye.
That item's approved.
Item 4B1 is a resolution from Bronx Community College to close the Department of Health, Physical Education, and Recreation, transferring health programs to the Department of Nursing and Allied Health Sciences, and transferring physical education and recreation programs to the Department of Education and Academic Literacy, and transfer nuclear medicine technology and medical laboratory technician programs from their current departments to the Department of Nursing and Allied Health Sciences. Mr. Chairman, I present item 4B1 for the board's consideration.
We have a second for this item.
Second.
Any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 4C1 is a resolution to appoint Kristen Andrews with immediate tenure at the CUNY Graduate School and University Center with an application of bylaw 6.2B. Mr. Chairman, I present item 4C1 for the board's consideration.
We have a second for this item.
Second.
Any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item is approved.
Item 4C2 is a resolution to award Karen Beck with immediate tenure at Lehman College with a waiver of bylaw 6.2B. Mr. Chairman, I present item 4C2 for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item? Second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 4C3 is a resolution to appoint Dr. Claudia V. Schrader as professor with immediate tenure at York College with a waiver of bylaw 6.2B. Dr. Schrader shall be placed on leave from this title during her term as president of York College. Mr. Chairman, I present item 4C3 for the board's consideration.
We have a second for this item.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Items 4D1 through 4D10 are resolutions to appoint 10 distinguished professors at 5 CUNY campuses as follows. Baruch College, Peter Hitchcock, Distinguished Professor of English. The City College of New York, Kevin H. Gardner, Distinguished Professor of Chemistry and Biochemistry. Rosario Gennaro, Distinguished Professor of Computer Science. Andreas Killen, Distinguished Professor of History. Jennifer T. Roberts, Distinguished Professor of Classical and Modern Languages and Literature. At Hunter College, Jillian Schweidler, Distinguished Professor of Political Science, and Ren Ulijan, Distinguished Professor of Chemistry. At Queens College, Michael Merkin, Distinguished Professor of Neuroscience, and Yoko Nomura, Distinguished Professor of Neuroscience. CUNY Graduate School of Public Health and Health Policy, Mary Schooling, Distinguished Professor. Mr. Chairman, I present items 4D1 through 4D10 for the board's consideration with an amendment to 4D8 to reflect that Michael Merkin's appointment should be corrected to show his appointment as Distinguished Professor of Chemistry and Biochemistry, not Neuroscience.
May I have a second for this item? Okay. Any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
As amended.
As amended, yes.
Item 4E1 is a resolution to approve the actions in the Faculty Personnel Matters Report of the Education Policy Committee. The information contained in the Faculty Personnel Matters Report includes appointments and reappointments with tenure and fellowship leaves generated in summary format from faculty data entered by the campuses into CUNY First between March 24th, 2025 and April 28th, 2025. Mr. Chairman, I present item 4E1 for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? All of those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 4E2 is a resolution to approve the actions in the Curriculum and Academic Policy Dashboard Report. The report includes routine academic matters, local academic policies, and course inclusions in the university's general education program. Mr. Chairman, I present item 4E2 for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item? Okay, excellent. Any
Second.
discussion? Let's move to a vote. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions or any opposed or abstentions? I can do this. No? Okay, that item's approved.
Item 4F1 is a resolution to approve the participation of the Grove School of Engineering at the City College of New York in the Inter-University Engineering Doctoral Consortium. Mr. Chairman, I present item 4F1 for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Mr. Chairman, this concludes my report.
Thank you, trustee. Item number 5, the Committee on Advancement and External Affairs. Let me call on Committee on Advancement and External Affairs Chair Lorraine Cortez Vasquez to present and move the following items.
Mr. Chairman, the Board Committee for Advancement and External Affairs considered the following matters at its meeting on June 9th, which I will now present to the Board. Item 5A is a resolution requesting approval to name the Matthew and Marcia Benjamin Classroom, Room 9-135 in the William and Anita Newman Vertical Campus at Baruch College. I present item 5A for the Board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
I present item 5B, which is a resolution requesting approval to name the Laurie O'Brien Classroom within the Chasnov School of Business, Building 2M, Room 204 at the College of Staten Island. I present item 5B for the Board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Let's move to, any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions?
Item 5C is a resolution requesting approval to accept an in-kind gift from Robert Rabin of archival papers purchased from the estate of Billie Holiday to be displayed at Hunter College. Mr. Chairman, I present item 5C for the Board's consideration.
May I have a second for this very cool item? Second. Any discussion? Now let's move to a vote. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 5D is a resolution requesting approval in the naming of the John Daniel Andreri Endowment Scholarship Fund to be held in the John Jay College Foundation, Inc. at John Jay College of Criminal Justice. I present item 5D for the Board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Item 5E is a resolution requesting the naming of the William C. Roderick Music Library at the Aaron Copeland School of Music at Queens College. I present item 5E for the Board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any
Spelled
discussion? Let's move to a vote. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report.
Thank you, trustee. Item number 7 is Committee on Student Affairs. Let me call on Committee on Student Affairs Chair Michael Arvanites to present and move the following items.
Mr. Chairman, the Committee on Student Life considered the following matters at its meeting on June 9th, 2025, which I will now present to the Board for approval. Item 7A is a resolution to approve the undergraduate student activity fee increase at LaGuardia Community College. Mr. Chairman, I present item 7A for the Board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All of those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions?
Aye.
That item's approved.
Item 7B is a resolution to approve the undergraduate student activity fee increase at Medgar Evers College. Mr. Chairman, I present item 7B for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for that item?
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item is approved.
Mr. Chairman, this concludes my report.
Thank you, trustee. Going to go back to item number 2, the Committee on Governance. Let me call on Committee on Governance Vice Chair Henry Berger to present and move the following items.
I got my 2 in, it's all right. Mr. Chairman, the Committee on Governance considered the following matter at its meeting on June 9, 2025, which I now present to the board for approval. Item 2A is a resolution to amend the Manual of General Policy 6.01, Conflict of Interest Policy. Mr. Chairman, I present item 2A for the board's consideration.
May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Okay, we'll move forward on a vote. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report.
For the day. Thank you so much. Items number 8 and 9 are appointments, or resolutions for appointments at Hunter College as follows. I guess I'm doing these, okay. Manoj Pesani, okay. All right, Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs and Student Success. Erica Cheeto-Childs, the Interim Dean for the School of Arts and Sciences, Extended. I'd like to move items number 8 and 9. May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on those items? We'll now move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item is approved. Well, those items are approved. Item number 10 is a resolution to appoint Dr. Larry D. Johnson, Jr. as president of Bronx Community College. I would like to move item number 10. May I have a second on that?
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Chancellor? That'd be you.
Thank you, Chair, and appreciate the board members who served in this committee, chaired by Trustee Lorraine Cortez Vasquez for the support. We had a national search, robust pool of candidates, and President Johnson from Gutman Community College emerged as the top candidate in that search, and that is my recommendation to the board.
Okay, that has been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? Let's now move to a vote. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or
Aye.
abstentions?
I abstain.
Okay. That item is approved with one abstention. You have a new president. There you go. Item number 11 is a resolution to appoint Milton Santiago as interim president of the New York City College of Technology. I'd like to move item number 11. May I have a second for this?
Second.
Any discussion, Chancellor?
With the retirement, as I mentioned in my remarks, of President Hostler from New York City Tech, we need our interim president at New York City Tech. President Santiago has been an incredibly effective interim president at Bronx Community College, so he has accepted this role, and I'd like to recommend him to do this interim while we do a search at New York City Tech.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any other comments? Let's move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item is approved. Item 12 is a resolution to appoint Dr. Russell K. Holtzler as university professor at Queensborough Community College. I'd like to move item number 12. May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, let's move forward. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved. Item number 13 is a resolution of appreciation for Sue Desetti, the Dean of the CUNY School of Law. I'd like to move item number 13. May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the item? Now move to a vote. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item is approved. Item number 14 is a resolution of appreciation for Senior Vice Chancellor and Secretary of the Board of Trustees, Gail M. Horowitz. I would like to move item number 14. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on this item? And I will go last in this.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to take a moment to say how much I've appreciated Gail's extraordinary leadership. Gail, you've brought clarity, structure, and purpose to this board, and always with steadiness, focus, and heart. And you made sure we didn't just meet the moment, we rose above it, even in the most challenging times. And you did it all with your signature drive, focus, and that incredible eye for detail. It's truly been an honor to serve with you. And Gail, after guiding us through so many resolutions, it's a real pleasure, yes, to pass one that celebrates you.
Thank you, Sandra.
I know your next journey will be just as impactful and full of purpose as the one you've led here. Thank you so much.
Any other comments?
I would like to make a comment. First of all, thank you. Thank you for your stewardship. Thank you for your partnership. Also for your clarity. The one thing that I appreciate the most is there were never surprises, no surprises. And also the preparation. I don't know that anyone could master your resolution skills, and maybe that's okay. But I will say that I'm fortunate that I will, for a bit of my life, will be with you in your next journey. So I'm happy about that. You have just been a champion for this board and a voice for this board, and you also have been a good moderator and intermediary for many of us on many difficult issues. So I thank you for that.
Thank you, Larry. And I look forward to working with you some more.
I guess I'm going to go. I have worked for Gail Horowitz since 1996.
God, you're old.
There is a famous picture that I'm going to refer to. I became the president of the New York City Board of Education in July of '96. Gail was working for the former president and had been working for the former president for 6 months. There's a New York Times article with a picture with Gail standing there as her boss at that point was being voted out of office. Gail with the look of like, what the heck just happened on her face. I remember sitting with her and saying, look, we're going to help, not a problem. I'm going to speak to, at that point, the chancellor of the public school system. We will find you a job. Meanwhile, Gail said, I'm going to be here for a little while longer. You've got a lot of letters that have come in. You want me to take a shot at answering some of them? Sure. And like a day and a half later, there are 30 letters that have been responded to. She was like, geez, there's some other things that need to be done. Would you like me to take a shot at those? I'm like, sure. She nailed it. And then there was I see you're giving a speech. Would you like me to take a shot at writing the speech? Okay, why not? And a day and a half later, there's like, I don't know, a 15-page speech. I remember looking and saying, okay, how did you get here in the first place? And checked and spoke to friends in common who knew Gail. And then what began after that was 30 years almost of, I will say, working together, even though half of it I worked for Gail, but 30 years of working together at the New York City Board of Education, in the Comptroller's Office of the City of New York, at the Battery Park City Authority, and now at CUNY. I will miss Gail. I can't tell you how much, even though after all that time, she's family. And I know that she and I will still talk often, and I will still see a bunch of her. I will miss her. She has always done a great and professional job, even when, and I will give her credit as far as making a point and arguing it through ad nauseum. Gail is one person who has always stood her ground, and she's somebody I have not just super affection for, but a ton of respect for her. I know she will do great things in her new position, and I will always wish her well and always be there to help her. So again, congrats, Gail.
Thank you, Bill.
With that, let's move to a vote. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved. Item 15, a resolution to appoint Ann M. Fenton as Secretary of the Board of Trustees. I would like to move item 15. May I have a second for this item?
Second.
Any discussion? I do have one thing to say in this. It's Ann, and I've known Ann for a period of years also. She's replacing, what's her name? I forget. Because once you're out, you're out. Okay, but it is looking forward to great things from Ann. And we've had the opportunity to work with Ann as our deputy. You didn't have to look far to find a person to replace Gail. They've worked together as a great team. Ann has had the opportunity to work for all of us. And this is one of those, we should move forward without missing a beat. So Ann, looking forward to being able to, and I'm sure all of us, to be able to torture you directly, as opposed to torturing Gail, who then tortures you. So I would like to move that item and move item forward. We have a second. Any other discussion on the item?
Second.
Want to concur with everything you said, and Ann, much advancement, speed, and know that we will be calling you, annoying you, and knowing that everything that we need will be addressed as usual.
Of course.
Thank you.
I just want to add that as much as they've worked together, they're so different in style.
Yes.
And that's going to be great to also see. So welcome, Ann, and look forward to this. Great, thanks.
Any other comments? Let's move forward on a vote. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Aye, absolutely. That item is approved. Congratulations. Item number 16A is a notice of action taken in accordance with Board of Trustees Manual of General Policy 2.06 on June 18, 2025, to authorize the emergency procurement of services and authorize the engagement of Jenner and Block LLP to provide legal representation in connection with federal requests for information and testimony. Item 16A does not require a vote. The Chancellor has asked the Board to consider two additional resolutions. I will ask the Secretary to read the resolutions for the record, and will first vote to add the items and then take a vote on the item itself. Gail, for the last time, please read the resos.
Oh, my God. Item number 17 is a resolution to authorize the acknowledgement of a letter of intent regarding the grant by the City of New York Cultural Institutions Group of membership to the Louis Armstrong House Museum, dated June 30th, 2025, whereas the premises, known as the Louis Armstrong House, located at 34-56 107th Street, Corona, New York, was bequeathed to the City of New York, the city, by Lucille Armstrong, wife of the late jazz musician Louis Armstrong, for the purpose of having the premises maintained as a memorial and monument to the cultural, historical, and humanitarian legacy of Louis Armstrong. And whereas the City University of New York, the university, has entered into a series of license agreements with the city through its Department of Cultural Affairs to operate Louis Armstrong House as an historic museum, the museum, with the most recent such agreement having been entered into on December 13th, 2015, for a term of 20 years, known as the 2015 license, and whereas pursuant to an agreement dated December 22nd, 1986, by and among the estate of Lucille Armstrong, Louis Armstrong Educational Foundation, Inc., otherwise known as LAEF, and the university, the estate transferred to the university possession of a collection of instruments, papers, tapes, photographs, and other materials belonging to or relating to Louis Armstrong, the archives, and with certain exceptions, all right, title, and interest therein. And whereas on May 20th, 2008, the Louis Armstrong House Museum, LAHM, an education corporation, received a provisional charter from the New York State Board of Regents to operate the Louis Armstrong House as an historic house museum, which provisional charter was made absolute on December 17, 2013. And whereas since its provisional chartering, LAHM has operated the Louis Armstrong House as a museum on behalf of the university, and whereas on May 27, 1999, the LAEF conveyed by deed the property located at 34-49 107th Street, Corona, New York, to the Queens College Special Projects Fund, Inc., a special purpose entity organized exclusively for the benefit of Queens College, QCSPF, which property has since been developed for the benefit of Queens College by constructing an education and visitor center known as the Louis Armstrong House Museum Center, the Education Center, where the archives are housed. And whereas on April 30th, 2014, the estate of Selma Y. Geraldo made a gift of Ms. Geraldo's residence located at 34-52 107th Street, Corona, New York, informally known as Selma's House, to QCSPF to be used in connection with operating the Louis Armstrong House. And whereas the Louis Armstrong House, the Education Center, and Selma's House are known collectively as the Louis Armstrong House Museum, the museum. And whereas on June 24, 2024, the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York authorized the acquisition of the Education Center and Selma's House from QCSPF. However, such acquisition has not taken place. And whereas the city has advised the university that it desires to make LAHM a member of the city's Cultural Institutions Group, otherwise known as CIG or SIG, which consists of privately managed organizations operating in public facilities established and maintained for the provision of cultural services and programs to the people of New York City. And whereas the city provides CIG institutions with funding towards operating costs, capital needs, and energy expenses, as well as other support. And whereas the city generally makes the grant of CIG status contingent on transfer of ownership to the city of underlying real property comprising the cultural institution, and whereas the city has indicated it will pursue granting of SIG status for LAHM contingent on the transfer of Selma's House to the city and the issuance of a license from the city to LAHM to operate the Louis Armstrong House, and whereas due to complexities in any transfer of ownership of the Education Center in connection with its original construction and financing, the city has indicated that transfer of the Education Center to the city is not a contingency for granting SIG status to LAHM. And whereas SIG status would help ensure a strong financial future for LAHM, and whereas the City University of New York has vested interest in the ongoing and future success of LAHM, which through its operation of the museum helps ensure that the archives and the museum exhibits the archives inspire are available to students, researchers, musicians, jazz enthusiasts, and the general public. And whereas the city is requesting that the City University of New York, together with LAHM and QCSPF, acknowledge a letter of intent outlining the terms and conditions pursuant to which the city would grant SIG membership to LAHM, including 1, transfer of Selma's House to the city, 2, execution of license agreement between the city and LAHM for LAHM to operate Selma's House and the Louis Armstrong House, which would replace the 2015 license with the university. And 3, execution of an affiliation agreement between the city, LAHM, and the university regarding the operation of the Education Center by LAHM as part of the museum, the letter of intent. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York authorizes the Senior Vice Chancellor for Legal Affairs and General Counsel, or his designee, to acknowledge the letter of intent and acknowledge or execute such agreements, documents, and other instruments deemed appropriately by him or his designee to facilitate the granting of SIG membership to LAHM, including, as necessary, the conveyance of Selma's House to the City of New York, and that such signature by the General Counsel or his designee shall be conclusive evidence of his or her authority to perform all such acts and sign and deliver all such agreements, documents, and instruments on behalf of the university.
Yeah, could you repeat that?
No, really. You are
Back to
working.
page 2.
Your last meeting, you are working, let me tell you. I'd like to make a motion to add item 17 to our agenda. May I have a second? There we go. I guess I can just add that. Okay, item 17 has been added. I'd like to move item number 17. May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this item?
Yes. Okay, a New York
Yes.
minute, Mr. Chairman.
Not a problem. I knew. Go ahead.
I had the opportunity of being with the Chancellor and President Wu and the Queens College team last year when Governor Hochul visited the Louis Armstrong House Museum. We saw firsthand the beautiful designed education center in Corona, Queens, and the invaluable cultural treasures within it. I'd like to commend all of those involved and Senior Vice Chancellor and Advisor Jay Hershenson, who is in attendance today with us, for the many years of rigorous work to obtain the status and support needed from the city and the state to help assure that that legacy of Louis Armstrong will both endure and flourish through this enterprise. Thank you. It is worth seeing. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Echo the words of Vice Chair Wilkin, and as the former president of Queens College is delighted to be able to see this support and investment on one of the city's most remarkable cultural institutions. And I also, while I echo the comments about the great work of President Wu and the team at Queens College, I also, and as you could notice by the length of the resolution, was a very complicated legal matter, and I do want to give kudos to Derek Davis and his team at OJC. Because many of the things that have to go through a legal office are always complex. This was particularly complex, so I want to thank Derek and the team for the incredible work they did to be able to have this as a possibility for you to consider as a board.
Excellent. Jess.
Right.
We did vote on it? We did?
They got to vote.
Okay, I'm just like, where are we?
Discussion.
Okay, any other discussion? Let's move to a vote. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item is approved. Item number 18 is a resolution to authorize.
That's for me, if you want to.
I have to.
In blue, that's me.
Oh,
It's
go
okay,
right
you
ahead.
can read.
No,
I'll
no,
do
no,
that.
knock stuff out.
Item number 18 is a resolution to authorize the engagement of Arnold and Porter, K. Scholler, LLP, to provide legal representation. It is dated June 30th, 2025, whereas the City University of New York, the university's Office of the Senior Vice Chancellor for Legal Affairs and General Counsel, the Office of the General Counsel, is the university's system-wide resource for legal advice and representation. And whereas the Office of the General Counsel, in addition to serving as counsel to the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York, the Board of Trustees, is the principal office for legal affairs and ethics for the university system and oversees the provision of legal services for the university and each constituent school and college. And whereas the Office of the General Counsel has a wide range of expertise required to enable it to counsel and advise the university in fulfilling its institutional mission. However, there are subject matter areas of law, compliance, and regulation that are beyond the scope and capacity of the office. And whereas for the purpose of supporting the university in addressing and responding to a grand jury subpoena request from the Office of the United States Attorney for the District of New Jersey, the university requires the retention of a law firm possessing specific experience and expertise not otherwise within the scope or capacity of the Office of General Counsel. And whereas the university has previously engaged the law firm of Arnold and Porter, K. Scholler, LLP, Arnold and Porter, as counsel in relation to responding to pre-litigation investigative requests concerning the use of grant funding. And whereas the law firm of Arnold and Porter has the requisite specialized expertise and experience required to represent the university in this matter, and whereas the university's retention of the law firm is not intended to circumvent the jurisdiction or obligations of the New York State Office of the Attorney General or the New York City Law Department to represent the university's respective schools and colleges, as this is not a matter in which either would typically represent the university. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York authorizes the General Counsel to enter into a contract with the law firm of Arnold and Porter for an amount not to exceed $500,000, in which contract shall have a term not to exceed 1 year from the date of such contract, to provide outside legal services to the university under the supervision of the Office of the Senior Vice Chancellor for Legal Affairs and the General Counsel when reasonably necessary and appropriate, in accordance with the university protocols for the engagement of outside counsel, and that the General Counsel or his designee be and they hereby are authorized to negotiate, execute, seal, and deliver such contracts and/or engagement letters, and that such execution by such duly authorized officer of the university shall be conclusive evidence of his authority to perform all such acts and to execute and deliver all such contracts, agreements, documents, and instruments contemplated thereby on behalf of the university, and be it further resolved that any material changes to the terms and conditions of the contracts, agreements, documents, and other instruments hereby approved by the Board of Trustees shall be submitted to the Board of Trustees for its consideration and approval. Period, end of sentence.
I'd like to move, let's see. I'll make a motion to add item 18 to our agenda. May I have a second?
Second.
The item has been added. I'd like to move item number 18. May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the item?
Okay, no, second.
Let's move to approve the item. All of those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item's approved. There being no further business, I'd like to ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All right.
So moved.
We are adjourned.